Parasites and degeneration. Is there a connection? All right, let's get into this. Dr. Robert Cassar, eartheracademy.com. This is another rethinking reality. So, parasites and degeneration. A lot of people don't put these two simple words and concepts of these ideas together, okay? But parasites, we know what those are, right? Or maybe you don't. But could it be possible that parasites, okay, that we, of course, hear of, it's hearsay, hello, birdsies, okay, it's hearsay, okay, but could it be possible that these parasites that live inside us, okay, are demons? Think about that. We talk about a lot of things about Satan, about all these evil, right? Evil, you put a D in front of that, you get the devil. Okay? Beelzebub, all these names of this so-called evil god, right? Could it be possible? Okay, I'm just putting it to you here. Hey, we've got a wasp around us. Check this guy out. I'll let him crawl on my face if he wants to. But he could bite you if he wants to too, if I show fear. Come on back, land on me. So, let's get into this way. Parasites, as far as I'm concerned, these are the archons. These are the archons that we talk about. We talk about that they're invisible, right? They're in the air, like the parasites that, of course, can be physical. The parasites can be also ethereal, right? Mind parasites. And the parasites can also be in the air, right? All your wireless, all the things that fly through the air, the microwave, the prince of the power of the air. And just so you know, in gematria, that's 33. So is fallen angel, that's 33. But anyways, that's a whole different story. But think about it this way. Look, parasites, okay? Do you really think that these creatures that live inside all of us, not you, all of us, okay? Do you think that they are causing you degeneration at this time? Oh, he's back. Okay. Do you think that they'll cause you degeneration? Okay. Remember, there are species, okay, that are carnivorous in the body. They don't just eat your food. They don't just eat your junk food. They don't just process a lot of garbage in your body that you put in your mouth, right? But they also eat you. Okay. I just put together, it's about 90 pages so far. It's taken me like 6 months of this video course because I feel it's very important to be able to learn about parasites, anti-parasitic medications, and how, well, I use them and other people use them and or experiment with them. Is because once you find out that these parasites inside us, okay, let's just look at a couple of pictures right now, just real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the degeneration part. Remember, these are carnivorous, most of these parasites. Let's look at the hookworm. The hookworm is just this little tiny little creature. And you could be seriously infected with hookworms. You know how you get them? Just from walking barefoot on the ground. Okay, you can get them from eating infected meat, infected vegetables, infected soil. Now, these little guys here have teeth like a great white shark. Okay, it's sort of weird. Teeth like a great white shark. And they attach themselves to the inner intestine. They crawl through the skin. Remember, these are genius demons. They crawl through the skin, they crawl into your blood supply, and they'll find a way to your gut. How they do it? Remember, we don't know too much, but we know they do it. And these little tiny little guys have a blood thinner, okay, that they go ahead and once they bite onto the intestinal tract, their primary food is blood. So if you talk about Dracula that lives in the dark, okay, and these are called hookworms. And hookworms are very prevalent everywhere. There's feces on the ground. Animals, people, look at all the homeless people, poop everywhere. Okay, rats poop, birds poop. These things are everywhere. So all you can do is do what? Just like I did to the grass here. I cut the lawn last night on my 0-point mower. What a fun toy that is. Okay. And I manage this yard. Just like me managing my parasites. I manage the parasites in the sheep, and I will go ahead and call this grass beautiful, but if I let this grass, this is like about a month and a half old right here, I let this grow bigger for the sheep. They like it. And this will turn 6 feet tall. So this will become unmanageable, just like your parasites. So you have to think of this just real quick here. Let's go ahead and go over this. Remember, a parasite not only eats at your table, and it could eat at your table, your body, and then what does it do? All things that put something in their mouth, what do they have to do? They got to get it out the other side, right? Feces, super toxic feces. So think of these creatures, super small, and you need a microscope because they're microparasites. Okay, and the ones I can see with my eye, those are called macroparasites, or ones that I can see with the naked eye. Many species that live on the skin, watch our videos and learn how to clean your skin correctly. Again, I'm not talking about using the shower. I'm talking about using a vodka solution with certain types of minerals, and you can call cleaners in that. And then relubricating your skin with the correct relubrication oil. Okay, this is to go ahead and rid yourself of a lot of exterior parasites, and this is why a lot of people's bodies, you can't see through the skin. You should be able to see through your skin. Okay, that means that my skin is doing what it's supposed to be. It's paper thin, right? It's 7 layers thick, 6 layers, 7 layers, depending on where you read. Okay, so you should be able to go ahead and see through your skin. Okay, into the body, as you can see through me. Learning the sauna protocols is going to help you get out a lot of the toxicity from a lot of the parasite poop that's in your body. So now let's get into just understanding. Remember, parasites are demons, so let's go ahead and look at that. They not only eat you alive, but they also poop inside you. What a beautiful thing, right? Okay, and this poop will accumulate inside you, and in time, sickness, of course, comes from toxicity, and that could be because of a lot of things. But could it be possible that parasites have a lot to do with degeneration? Let's just ask this question. How come there's so many people getting hip replacements and knee replacements right now? This is a working theory that I have right now. Okay, and it's a working theory only because I see truth in this theory after playing around with parasites for over 40 years and practicing, remember I'm a doctor, practicing with tens of thousands of people. Okay, because that's what doctors do. We practice about things we really don't know. And after a while, we might be able, instead of just practice a song, we might be able to play a song, right? Because we know that just about, if it works for you, it should work for you and you and you and you and you. Okay, that's just the way it works, right? Okay, so could it be possible these carnivorous parasites, okay, hookworms, spirochetes. Okay, everybody's got spirochetes in their mouth. They eat your gums up, right? They eat the tissue that you've inflamed inside your body. Okay, and we'll do videos on this so I can show you with a biomedics microscope, specially made to be able to look at things, okay, with the magnification, so I can go ahead and see them with different types of filters, illuminated filters, dark phase, phase contrast, dark field, all different types of filters, so we could go ahead and actually see things, okay, that you maybe couldn't see with your eye, even under the microscope. So how about, could it be possible that these carnivorous things, like I said, why is so many people getting, think about it, joint replacements? What do you think certain types of diseases are? They're inflammation bound, as you can call them. Okay, your inflammation of the body. If you have inflammation in the body and these parasites are just looking for unprotected tissue. So let's say you bruise your tissue really hard and you get a big contusion there. That's unprotected tissue. Whatever parasites are inside your body, they come to that unprotected tissue because it's a feast time. It's time for plenty. It's time to go ahead and eat the new tissue that's going to go ahead and regenerate. And maybe that's the reason why it doesn't regenerate. Okay? Could it be possible that all these people with hip replacements and knee replacements is because you have certain types of demons in your blood, carnivorous demons, very small but very numerous, and all they are is just like a shark that swims in the ocean. It doesn't chase the tuna that are healthy, but it picks on the sick tissue, picks on the sick animals to clean up, right? Okay, so let's say you hurt your hip and you inflamed it for whatever reason you did, and I'm going to go into this on the video course that I'm doing on the anti-parasitic drugs, but also on just for you to be able to get a better idea and understanding on parasites in general, just so you can see these demons in action. I've got lots of videos, lots of things I've pulled off the internet so you could go ahead and see what it looks like to have a hookworm infestation in the intestinal tract. Check that out in that colonoscopy. Look what it looks like, okay, the spirochete, okay, it's 20 microns big. It's really small. And look how it moves like a corkscrew. And look what it's doing. It's eating, hundreds of them, eating a piece of tissue, okay? A cell, a red blood cell. Some are inside it eating the nucleus, and most of them are on the outside, just a frenzy of 1,000 of them out there just wiggling their tails and corkscrewing and eating, just like a shark would eat off a big whale. Okay, big whale dies in the ocean, and all of a sudden, a day or a week later, you've got yourself 100 sharks over there just eating off of that. Think of those sharks are like the spirochetes. They're just cleaning up the death. Okay, so when you have sick tissue, there's a lot of dead tissue there. And there's a lot of new tissue that's trying to go ahead and regrow. Could it be possible, again, that these creatures that are in your blood, once you get inflammation, I don't care if it's knuckle inflammation, I don't care if it's putting a bloody two-way transmitter up against the side of your head, right? Okay, and you've given yourself inflammation, holding that thing on your head for 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time, all the time on the same side, right? Let's say you have small particles of aluminum, because aluminum goes to the brain, small little tiny little particles, and those small little microwaves, right, from that two-way microwave transmitter, goes into tissue, doesn't bother the tissue, doesn't heat the tissue up at all. But if it hits any of those microparticles of metal, any type of metal, what do you think it does to it? Put a piece of aluminum in a microwave and turn it on and see what happens. Put a piece of metal, any type of metal in there and see what happens. Electrifies. Could it be possible that that little electrification of that little particle, nanoparticle, just small little tiny little particle of some type of metallic density that the microwave hits and it starts to heat up, could it cause infarction, inflammation, and spirochetes go there to do what? Eat up all that tissue. Maybe all those spirochetes and all the different types of creatures that are in your blood, and we don't know a lot about parasites, guys. We know a lot about, but there are so many things that live in that ocean. We only know a little bit about what lives in that ocean. We don't know much about parasites, of course. The doctors don't even go ahead and know because they're loaded full of them themselves, and that would be the first tenet of their world, is to be able to make themselves demon-free. Think about it. Why do you think there's so many people under the spell right now? Could it be possible that everybody's infected with these mind-controlling parasites, causing a lot of not only degeneration, because everybody's got tons of inflammation right now. Just look at everybody over 40 years old. Everybody's bloody, limping, and everything else. Okay, he's back again. You gonna land on me? We'll see if he does. Remember, if you show fear, he'll bite you. But if you don't, he'll just crawl on you because he's just checking you out. I guess he doesn't want to land. So, thinking of it this way, if you really knew, every doctor should go ahead and have a microscope and learn that inside and out, not just take a couple of courses and look at amoebas and a couple of different things. What about the things that we see inside the body? What about the things that are there, but we can't see them unless we look for them? A blood test doesn't show these things, right? I need to see it with my own eyes. And maybe the patient needs to see that. And the first thing you would see if you saw spirochetes, not only in your saliva, but in your blood, one drop of blood Cover slip on top of that. We're going to test 1/10 of a drop of your blood to see if you have any creatures swimming around, especially these spirochetes. In 1/10 of a drop of blood of maybe your over 5 liters of blood that you have in your entire ocean, your body, right? And what if you have between 10 and 50 and 100 and 200 little spirochetes in that 1/10 of a drop of blood that you're looking at? How many do you think are in this machine? If, remember, we took a drop of your blood. And 1/10 of a drop after you put the cover slip on it and push everything down a little bit lightly. Okay? So removing these demons must be done slowly because most of us are infested with these things. And we talk about mind control. You need to watch, actually read the book called Parasite Rex. And I'm going to refer to a lot of these different things. Remember, you want to learn about parasites? Go to Parasites Without Borders. And there's several parasitologists there. Excellent. They should have millions of views. Okay? And of course, because for some odd reason, remember, there's a lot of mind control. And if you don't want to look at these demons that are in everybody, then most likely it's the demon inside you that doesn't want you to see. I'm scared, right? If you see evil and put a D on front of it, the devil, then what are you supposed to do? One of the parables of Jesus, right? Turn your head away, maybe? No, you need to look at it. And you need to then take action. And then use reason and logic to be able to say that everything here on this place, okay, is most likely infected in a domesticational setting. Domesticational setting. That means maybe wild animals aren't as infected, maybe, as all the cats that have the parasite toxoplasmic gondii that mind controls the rats and the mice to be able to want to mate once they're infected with this parasite from the cat. It only lives in the cat. And once these mice or rats get infected, they want to mate with the cat. You don't think that's true? Again, these are demons. Mice and rats should be repulsed at the urine. Repulsed. But they find it now attractive. And that's why the cat is such a good hunter, right? All right. But it does take easier prey too. It climbs up in the trees and it actually steals little babies out of the nest too. So I'm not the fondest of cats just because I'm a bird lover. But anyways, okay, so parasites and degeneration. Again, could it be possible that the parasites that live inside your blood, the microparasites, we're not talking about the bigger ones. We're not talking about the Tinea saginata, okay, or the Tinea solium, which of course is the pig tapeworm, or the beef tapeworm, which can grow about a foot a year, which is pretty crazy. So if you got infected when you were 5 years old, that means if you're 25, that means you could have a 20 foot or 20 years of growth. Okay? You know how many parasites that we took out of people doing the fasting retreats here so they can see the demons that they've removed? And it's only just a few. Remember, most of us are infested. You see a guy with his gut sticking out from the side, right? He's got this big belly, and he's got skinny legs, no butt, but he's got a huge belly. Could it be possible he's got 100-footers in there? 100-foot tapeworms, 100-foot demons. Look at the teeth. I'm going to show you a picture, okay, of the tapeworm here. Look at this thing's face. You tell me if that's an archon or not. And what's an archon? Something that of course is over the top. And no one even wants to look at it. Why? It's because they shy away from it because it's so ugly. It's like the Predator, right? Okay, when Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, is looking at him, what the hell are you? Okay? When you look at a microscope and you have seen what other people have put into their microscopes and brought them out, then you would see that these are truly demons. And if these demons are inside the host of the sentient beings, and it could be, remember, a lot of these parasites need the rat to be the vector, okay, the mosquito to be the vector, the flea to be the vector, okay, to be able to go through many life cycles to get to a human host or an animal host or an herbivore. And there are some different parasites that have their whole life cycle in the human body. All you need is one egg and you will be in time colonized. So if that's the truth, and remember, there's thousands of different parasites. Like I said, how many fish do you think are in that ocean? And I'm not talking quantity. I'm talking different species. We don't know. We only know a fraction of what we see. right? That place is deep. I'm on the tallest mountain in the world, right? I'm on Mauna Kea right now, and I'm at about 600-foot sea level here, but check it out. That ocean right there goes down 5 miles straight down, and the top of the mountain, which is Mauna Kea, has the telescopes on it behind these trees. And on a clear day like today, you'll be able to see the telescopes up there. That's almost 15,000 feet. So when you go from top to bottom here, we're on the tallest mountain in the world, most remote island in the world. And there's many new species of things here that are just here, just like in Madagascar, and just like on a lot of islands. There's many species that are only on that island for some odd reason. That's another story, right? But I see a lot of people just walking around. Again, you live in Hawaii, you live in the tropics. Just so you know, parasites in the tropics are way worse than parasites if you lived in the north, right? Because when it's cold, these parasites, they're reptiles, right? They're not warm-blooded. They use you and I and everybody else to be able to give them the warmth that they need. It's because they can't make their own exothermic reaction, right? They're parasites. Not only do they need to live in our body, they need to eat in our body, and then our bodies have to learn how to clean up their feces, which is super, 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 super toxic if anyone wants to really just catch one piece of this whole talk we're doing here, okay? The feces of some of these parasites are very damaging to our critical thinking, to our bodies on how it is innately intelligent, not Big Bang Theory, innately intelligent to repair itself. I burned myself really good last night on the stove. I just poked it with a needle to get out all the pus out of there, right? Burned it on the stove just in a second. Psh! Okay, and my body's going to regenerate that tissue without me doing anything. Yeah, I went ahead and did this and did that, but it's going to do it itself, and we don't know how it does it, but it does it. We watch it and we gave it names and stuff like it, but we don't know. We don't know how it regenerates itself. We have theories. So this is a working theory of mine. And if there's any truth to this whatsoever, and all you have to do is just look into the elusive and the sinister ways of a parasite, then you would go ahead and see that these things are truly the demons that you've been searching for, that your Bibles and all the different ancients and everything, the archons, all these different things that, of course, are supposed to be in the air or something, maybe so, but we know, okay, or some people know, especially researchers that look into this, like I said, watch Parasites Without Borders, and they're going to go over the life cycles. If anybody just watches that alone, you will know more than, I'd say, 99.9% of all doctors. They have no idea, okay, what the Ascaris lumbricoides worm is. They have no idea that it's very infective in almost every body. They have no idea even how to treat it. They'll look it up in a book. First thing you need to know, guys, it's in a lot of people. And if these things are in us, then it would be very smart for a farmer to make sure that he doesn't have any parasites in his soil, because if not, the parasites will eat what he's growing. So, you know, there's nematodes in the soil here. Nematodes also can live inside the body too. So nematodes, I know several people that do sweet potatoes, and the first year they'll get some sweet potatoes pretty good, right? And there's not too much infection of nematodes. Okay, nematodes, roundworms, all different types of creatures that fall into that species, that phytoclass, or not phytoclass, but that helminth class, or the parasite class. So these nematodes, each time she goes ahead and actually puts down different types of chemicals and such, that's you can only use that land for a couple of years. That's it. Otherwise, every year, all of the fruit, because the nematodes just keep on coming and coming, and if she wants to kill the nematodes, she has to kill all the soil. Then it's worthless. So this was just an opening. I just want you to open up your eyes a little bit to be able to see. Remember, you have parasites in your system. Of course you do. You have them on your skin, right? What do you think dandruff is? Okay, what do you think losing your hair is? That's Desodex follicularis, right? These are hair mites in your skull. We have lots of different types of protocols that you can experiment with on Earther Academy. Okay, they do have efficacy to them. It's because I've been using these and been tweaking them for over 40 years. Okay, different types of protocols, like, again, how do you get the plastics, microplastics out of your body? Okay, watch the videos. How do you get heavy metals out of your system? okay, or support the reduction of heavy metals. First of all, you got to quit putting them bloody in, and then there are ways to be able to get them out. Many ways. Can you remove parasites by using herbal remedies? Of course you can. But be careful with those, just like with any anti-parasitic. It's because, remember, you have no idea what's living inside you. And these little demons inside, remember, they have a prime directive, and that's to survive and live. And guess what? Think about this. Let's say stage 4 cancer, okay? Metastatic cancer are parasites eating you to death. And then you radiate them, and you do calm down the system because you wipe out the most of the colonies, and now there's just sparse little areas of colonies instead of the whole body having trillions of these creatures inside eating you to death. You go through a remission, right? 1 year, 2 years, and all of a sudden your big C comes back with a vengeance. Remember, these parasites have a directive to survive. And they know you know, okay? You tried to kill them before. Now they're going to come back on you at full force and eat you faster and quicker. Again, working theory, but I see what it does, and you see what it does. Remissions, people go down hard. It's like all of a sudden you went against something and you lost because we came back with enforcements now, and we're only going to go ahead and eat you to death when we're all ready to bud and get you at the same time. Like sending out 1 million little drones, right? To go ahead and fight 1 million people. But if you send out 10 drones, it doesn't matter. You're not going to go ahead and affect 1 million people, but you send out 1 for 1, you got yourself a massacre, right? Because the drones will win. To just do. The parasites will win. They will. When you get these different types of creatures that live in the body, remember, they are also eating you. They're eating your food. They're causing malnourishment. They're causing small little tiny cuts and bites in the tissues and causing, let's say, like the hookworm. The hookworm has a like I said, like a blood thinner that it injects as it drinks, so it gets very easy blood flow. But it disattaches itself every couple of hours, whatever it is, and it goes on to another spot, right? But that area still will go ahead and bleed up to so-called even a 0.5 milliliter of blood just from one of those tapeworms or hookworms. So could it be possible that you're bleeding out of your anus there, and it's cause of many things, but mostly it's because you have inflammation down there and you've got a lot of different creatures that are making it so that area will never heal. IBS, that area will never heal. This is why, again, watch my 1-year transformation so you can see. Remember, I had to heal my gut. I destroyed it from eating too many plants, too many lectins, too many oxalates, too many things that had plant poisons in them. Plant poisons. And plant poisons scientifically are called phytoalexins. All plants have different types of defense mechanisms in them, so a lot of bugs and certain mold and certain things will not be able to eat them, and if they do eat them, they will die. Okay, like I said many times before, cabbage has 49 pesticides that grows in the plant, from the plant. And that's why it has to be fermented. Okay, you have to make these vegetables bioavailable because you don't have a fermented chamber like the herbivores do. Okay, my sheep, remember, have a fermented chamber. And they are loaded full of parasites. They eat off the floor. They're domesticated. Maybe if they weren't domesticated and they're running all over the place, then their feces just drops here and they're not going to come back to this spot. It's because they can go anywhere they want to. So infection on wild animals is way less. Okay, unless they get infected from humans that have already been infected from pooping out just from wherever. Okay, a lot of septic systems. Remember, just the gardens that people make. What makes you think that all that chicken manure you're using or the steer manure, okay, none of it is organic. It's organically composted, but it's not from organic chickens. These chickens are loaded full of antibiotics, full of vaccines, full of hormones, okay, full of different types of medications. Is because they're all sick. So when you eat a cow that's really fat, is because they got it fat, because cows can't get fat. They make them fat with grain, like the wazoo and all this stuff. Guys, may taste really good, but in order to get that meat as big as it is, Okay, that animal, as big as it is, you have to do a lot of things to be able to make that animal sick. You can't make animals sick in nature as far as being obese or fat. It's just impossible. Show me a fat rat. I know how you can get fat rats, though. You know how you do? You take MSG, and scientists have done this. You can look up MSG in fat rats, and you can see one shot of MSG gives these scientists obese rats, fat rats. Look at all the MSG in your food. Okay, is that maybe a possibility why everybody's so bloody chubby? Okay, just think about that. Could it be possible that most people follow orders is because the parasites inside them are mind controlling them to some degree? We don't know how these things work, but we know they're powerful. Like I said, watch, I was going to tell you the book before, I never did. It's called Parasite Rex. And this is a good book for you to open up your eyes to the world of parasites, just what they do to these certain types of animals and creatures, how these parasites mind control their hosts. Okay, and do you really think that the parasites that are in your dog, remember they get heartworms, do you have arrhythmias? Maybe you have heartworms, right? Maybe when you get rid of, like I did, I used to have arrhythmias all the time. I got rid of the heartworms and all of a sudden my heart doesn't go off beat, ever. But it used to. It's because I was infected when I was younger, playing around with reptiles, playing around with all the animals I did, doing all the things that I did in infected soil. It's just what it is. We're all infected, and it's easy to get infected a variety of ways. You don't just have to eat infected meat to get parasites. So the smartest thing anybody can do is learn the ELIXIR Academy protocols, practices, and principles. There's a lot of good information. $10 a month, guys. Cancel anytime you want to. Learning how to clean your body with water. Okay, fresh, clean, distilled water, as how nature provides for all of the grass here. What kind of water you think that is? Mountain spring water that comes down from the sky? It's distilled water. Pure H2O. Pure H2O in the body dissolves just like it does. Pure H2O, okay? Distilled water comes down and it starts softening up the rocks here to make it so the plants can start eating the minerals, because it starts to go ahead and actually break them down, right? Because distilled water is slightly acidic and it starts breaking stones down, alkaline stones, oxalate stones. Anyways, it's a big picture to get healthy. And there's a lot of different layers to this, a lot. But like I said, the video I'm putting out here shortly, okay, this is for experimental and educational purposes only. That's it, guys. Do as you wish. Remember, you can go to a doctor, you can do anything you want. It's your world. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Just like I do at ELIXIR Academy, showing you what I'm doing. And then, of course, as a doctor does, we practice with other people and we'll see how effective that a lot of these protocols are on different types of species of people. I did a Rethinking Reality called Monkey See, Monkey Do, and could it be possible that a lot of the genetically engineered O-positive, okay, genetically modified humans, the O-positive people here, that were made to do the work, not too smart, didn't say you were dumb, but you're not as smart as the biphasic, okay, the twin activated brain versus the half activated brain people. And there is possibly a reason maybe why certain bloodlines, like black people, can specifically get sickle cell anemia. How about there's certain parasites that can only attack certain types of genetic species? How about you could go ahead and actually create any of these types of things that you wanted to? And the human host, remember, is really easy to infect. And all of a sudden, on the other side of the fence or the coin, it's really easy to disinfect. There just are protocols, practices, and principles that we need to experiment with throughout our life. If you're not on any type of detoxification program, that's one of the things, like I said, for you to be able to learn is detoxification. Very important. The next level of detoxification is making sure that you're not malnourished, because a lot of people are malnourished from the vegan diet, from the vegetarian diet, because you're not absorbing what you think you are. There may be a lot of calcium in kale, but the different types of of counterproductive things in that kale, make it so you're not going to absorb any of that calcium, and in fact it's going to turn to calcium oxalates. Okay? Remember, there's phytic acid in most plants, and phytic acid is what makes the plant hold its minerals. And when you eat phytic acid, okay, and that's in almost every vegetable and every green leafy, everything, okay, phytic acid makes you turn into a pillar of salt, makes you very stiff, gives you kidney stones, gallstones, remember, oxalates, arteriosclerosis, atherosclerosis, all these different irritative substances in our body. So let's say you're eating a lot of oxalates, right? And the oxalates are sharp shrouds. I've done lots of videos on this. Look up the video on oxalates that I did so you can understand this. So you can see what these things look like, the graphite crystals and everything. And remember, these things are in cacao, they're in kale, they're in spinach, they're in a ton of stuff. Almonds, they're in a lot of things. And if you're specifically just eating this stuff all the time, then you got a crap load of oxalates swimming in your system, all these sharp little needles, and they're causing inflammation and they're causing micro tearing. And like I said, if you have these spirochetes inside you and these different creatures that are carnivorous, then they've got a field day at you. And maybe that could be the possibility of a lot of different types of cardiovascular disease that we see, is because of not only your diet, but what lives inside your body causing hyperdegeneration, is because there's something feeding on the new tissue that's trying to be regrown. My tissue here is going to be regrown, and if I have a lot of creatures in my sore, right, or any type of inflammation that I have new growth, body's repairing itself, but what if there's something there that's eating all the new growth all the time? So I can't regenerate. Like I said, why are there so many hip, knee replacements? Why? Why are so many people's backs and their mobility, everybody's like they're just wearing out? Could it be possible that there are different types of parasites that specifically chew on your cartilage? And you will never regain back that cartilage. And in fact, you will lose all the cartilage even if you weren't even a runner. Even if you didn't do any athletics and all of a sudden you're getting a knee replacement and you didn't really wear it out for some odd reason, something ate it. You inflamed it maybe first, injured it, and then once it's inflamed, now like I said, everything that swims inside your blood now has a chance to be able to feed on damaged tissue, unprotected tissue, the sheaths, the mucus, all the protective layers that are protecting the inside of our body against a lot of things. Our skin helps us protect us against a lot of parasites, but a lot of the parasites, they have the ability to drill right through your skin. A lot of times you'll be walking in the grass or laying on the grass and you feel all of a sudden there's nothing there, but you feel sort of like something's itching, and it keeps on itching is because there's something crawling in your skin. Okay, this is how hookworms get into the body. You swim in a lake and a river, you go into the ocean, they're spirochetes, remember, they're free swimming too. They live in a lot of places. Things drink the water, the spirochetes go inside them, and all of a sudden it's a cycle that just keeps repeating itself. So everybody that I've ever tested has spirochetes in their mouth, spirochetes in their blood. I've been doing antiparasitics for quite a while now, over the last year, really digging in deep with a lot of deep research. It's because I had to heal myself better. And we'll go over my right hip and degeneration. And can we stop degeneration? Maybe can we stop the parasites that are eating the tissue that wants to regenerate? How about that? So I just wanted to put these ideas out to people. Remember, this is a working theory. Guys, take this information, remember, and build it. Build it. Remember, I've been studying parasites for 40 years, plus 40 years. I just remember my mom's mom said, "Hey, Rob, go out and shoot me a rabbit. I want to make rabbit stew," because she's from Malta, right? Our whole family's from Malta. So I went out, didn't shoot one. I shot 3 of them. Brought them back, like 12 years old. I skinned the one, gave it to her, right? But I always would go ahead and cut up in the intestines and go ahead and just do like not an autopsy, but I'm doing a biology experiment. I want to see what makes this machine, okay, how it works and everything. And then once, you know, this happened to me, and I'll tell you this real quick here. I put the 2 other rabbits in a cooler, okay, like an igloo cooler, and I closed it. And I kept it in the garage, outside, on the outside of the garage, in one of the garages. And then about 3 days later, my mom said, hey, something in the garage really stinks. Anyways, I went to open up the cooler, and what do you think I saw in there? Remember, these rabbits were in by themselves. There was no way for anything to get inside that thing. And when I opened it up, forget the putrid, stinky smell, but the parasites that I saw crawling outside the body. And so, what did I do? Well, that's a good experiment, right? I put my little mask on, put a couple drops of peppermint in there, put some like garden gloves on, because we didn't have plastic gloves back then. I was like 12, 13 years old. And I wanted to see, how could all these creatures that never got in, is because, you know, into the body, how did they get into the igloo? Massive amounts. It was probably not even 3 days, it was more than that. It was like 5 days. But whatever it is, whatever it took, whatever parasites were inside it, remember, that body dies, and what they do is they eat up the death. And if you've got a lot of inflammation in your body, then your body's getting eaten the death, the inflamed tissue. So just keep an eye on that, and understand, if you're taking meds, you're sick. Okay, and I'm talking about manageable meds like statins and different things. Remember, control is everything, just like in the Matrix, right? And, you know, there are lots of secrets in this realm. Very few people have the ability to be able to open up the mind to have the possibility or probability that these things could be true. Like I said, again, I'm in Hawaii. I'm supposed to be standing like this right now, and that's all I need to say. And if I go to Australia, well, I'll be in the land down under. You think what you want of that. Remember, there's a lot of story here. A lot. And people say all the time, stay strong. I already know you're not strong, so get strong. How about that? And if you are strong, get stronger. And I'm talking physically, mentally, emotionally. And really know that this place that we live on is an intelligent design. And I'm not throwing, one of the comments said, I started saying, you're throwing this religious stuff. I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about logic and reason. Okay, do you really think, like I said, that these bananas and this tree and the sheep and the goats and the bird that's singing now, the grass, these things just came from nothing? Okay, macadamia nut, cinnamon trees, coconuts, okay, they all came from nothing. Does that make sense to you? Just asking a question. And as I've said many times, guys, if you've got a lot of education, not education, then I feel for you. It's because it means you believe a lot of good stuff. Yes, you do. And like I said, PhDs, remember, you have a doctorate in piled higher and deeper, more theory on top of theory on top of theory on top of theory. And that's what you know, and that's how you make your money off of, so you're not going to change a thing in your head. People that have less education in their mind are very easy to teach, very easy to show things, because it's not, their mind's not fighting what they've been told by what they feel is like God speak, right? That's scientism speaks. Anyways, like I said, I've been doing the parasite investigation for over 40 years here, and so what I've come up to be able to understand is that these are truly demons. And you know, you have to, one last piece of this pie, because I didn't want to get into this, but think of the physical demons in your body. Remember, and there's, like I said, watch Parasite Without Borders and watch all of the videos. Start from number 1 and work your way through. You will know more than any doctor, just about, well, anyone I know, and I know a lot of people. Okay? And, you know, you really need to grasp the seriousness of this dilemma, this conundrum. And the only way that anybody can go ahead and keep these demons down to a low roar is you got to become your own doctor Your doctor doesn't even know about these things. And a lot of the information that I'm going to be putting out here, that's maybe to give to your doctor too. Is because remember, they're all loaded. Maybe they need to all go ahead and get themselves a microscope so they can go ahead and just check out some creatures that live in the body, especially sick people. And all you have to do is, like I said, connect the dots. Connect the dots. How about people with Alzheimer's disease, okay? Remember, you're losing your memory. How about those people who are loaded full of spirochetes in their brain? Why? Why is the question. How about a person that has kidney disease? Why are there all these creatures in there? Maybe that remember, whatever's living in your body, if something gets sick, everything just eats it to death, and then you perish. Think of parasites as the cleanup crew. And there are certain things in there, because you eat a bunch of crap all the time, right? You eat all these different food, fast food. You eat fast food, you get nothing more than to be what the fast food says. Take off the S and it's fat food. A lot of these worms process all that crap, but then again, they crap inside you. Just remember that. Okay, I think we got enough here going. But just understanding the understandings. Simple. Parasites are real. Connect the dots and look at the pictures of these demons. Look at the life cycles and how they create the sickness. Look at how many people die of malaria every year. More than the disease that was afflicting us just lately, supposedly, allegedly. Could it be possible, again, that most all sickness, not all, but most all sickness could be caused by parasites, and or your demise is quicker when you have parasites in your body? Just a thought. Remember, use your critical thinking. Like I said, a lot of the information that I like to share is over the average person's mind. And like we talked about, NPCs, you're good people. And until other people go ahead and actually see this truth en masse, then you'll follow those people. But until that time, you'll stick with what you feel that the consensus or the herd follows. And there's nothing wrong with being an order follower. I got to follow orders a lot of times. Okay, but then again, use your individual mind and question everything and everybody. Think of it this way, and we're going to sign off. You have never known yourself ever, is because we've always had these demons inside our body, causing our minds to be confused from the poop that goes inside you, causing our bodies to be dysfunctional because of these things eating us alive, a little at a time. Not enough to kill us, but a lot to keep us down. A lot to make us so we have learning disabilities. A lot to make us so we have schizophrenic abilities, just like the toxoplasmic gondii, the cat parasite. And if you've got cats, guys, and even if you don't, remember, everything is infected. So all you can do is de-infect things and keep them under control, is because the demons are here. So I wish more people would go ahead and actually see this connection. The archons, the demons, are the parasites. And remember, the parasites that are physical are the antenna for the non-physical demons, the mind parasites. I know it's over everybody's head. Just think of those little parasites are all made from a demonic system, right? They're all weird creatures. They live in the dark. They suck blood, and then they poop inside the system. But what are they for? Not only to control things, right? But how about also to be an antenna for things too? Remember, the world of no form doesn't have a body, and maybe in this world, in this holography, okay, this place, maybe you need one of these machines, these eyeballs, to be able to transcribe the reflections of light, so I could go ahead and see what formless systems cannot see. So let's say the spirit system has no form, they're formless, and they need things like us, these machines that we own, the dream machines, okay, to be able to transcribe. So they take over a lot of people's minds. Look at the people, I won't say it, but look at the people that are running a lot of things. Could it be possible that they're possessed? It's not even them anymore. Remember, the parasites in the body can manipulate things as big as a bear. What makes you think that since you're only 130, 150, 200 pounds, that these parasites can't manipulate your little body? and as they want you to do, how they want you to feel, the sexual orientation they want you to have. Okay, why are so many people addicted to porno? What is the matter? Why are you masturbating all the time? Just a question. Are you enjoying it, or is something else feeding on you? That's all. Maybe if you remove the parasites, which this is one of the testimonies, remove the parasites, and all of a sudden the porno mind, the sexual, the perversion in your head that was swimming around there all the time, it's because you watch perversion and it's stuck in there. Okay? Once you disconnect from these parasites, maybe that you get your freedom. You get your sanity, is because you don't have little dancing penises all the time in your head 24 hours a day, or things that you know that shouldn't be there, but why are they there is the question. Look at your mind and look into your mind on what it's trying to show you or tell you. Demonically systems, remember, why do you feel the way you do? Could it be possible if you remove all those creatures inside of you, then maybe you will be yourself for the first time in your life. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, this, like I said, this video has taken a long time to put together, only because the information, the database is grand. It's up to like 90 pages. It's like a book. Follow the links, look into what you feel you can, and tell me what you think. Remember, there needs to be more people out there that are looking into this connecting of the dots. The system here, we're infected with all these different parasites, right? And there's many doctors that know this. But, you know, like I try to teach at Earther Academy, become your own doctor. Teach yourself. Nobody taught me how to use the computer. Remember, I came from a different age. I had to learn it myself. No one taught me about parasites. Okay, in school, they don't teach us nothing in school. Not like this. I had to learn it myself and engage a little bit at a time. And I had to have a special mind that wants to keep looking at these bloody demons. Okay, because they're sickening. Look what they do. Look at the cause of the suffering that they cause around the world. Just malaria, Ebola, whatever you want to say, Lyme disease, spirochete disease, venereal diseases. Okay, these are all spirochetal. Right? All different types of creatures. Okay, just when you go to Mexico and you drink the water, right? And why do you get diarrhea for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and some people even die? Why? It's because that's parasitic. Okay, these little parasites are very powerful to the body. But they can be removed a little at a time, so don't get crazy. Remember, these protocols are to be able to whack at it a little bit at a time, is to be able to cut the lawn down to a manageable level. But right now you're working with 6-foot tall grass and you can't use a mower on it. All you can do is machete a little piece at a time, and once it gets down to a certain level, then you can use a different machine to go ahead and take it to the next level. Same as with parasites. Basic parasitology is to learn first about the parasites and understand that even if you don't even know you're infected, all you have to do is really do some more research, and you'll find out that it's a good chance that you are. Especially watch the Parasite Without Borders, the parasitologists. Remember, these are all a lot of the people infected, 300 million people affected, this many. How do we know? Those are the people that basically may be reported. And all the other people, flus, cold, this, that, whatever it is, they go undetected as parasite-ridden. So parasites only, they're even though they're this big of the sickness and suffering chart, it's only reported as this big, is because the parasites do most of all of that disease. And you can name it names all you want to. But if you remove a lot of these different creatures and re-nourish yourself, because you have parasites, remember, you're malnourished because they're stealing your food. They're stealing your food and pooping inside you. Okay, that's enough. All right, guys. Aloha. And again, what a beautiful day on the Big Island here. So blessed to be able to breathe the fresh air, supercharged air, live on the tallest mountain in the world, the most remote island in the world, and see green all the time. I like seeing green all the time, and blue and indigo and violet. And you can see way in the back there, they've got some cloud whitening going on there versus what we see above us out in the middle of the world. Blue skies, and as we start to get over that way, you can see the whiteness there. Is because, well, those are man-made, right? Okay, that's it. Aloha, guys. We'll see you.